The next, which is customer relationship management. I think a key difference between tangible and intangible is that in tangible, your customer and you do not have a one-on-one relationship. You never see them. You know, I've worked at Colgate, I've worked at Levers. We've gone and put a lot of stuff on the shop, and we've gone and met consumers in their homes, etc. But that point of sale or that point of engagement, we don't know them. We don't know, ki, oh, Mrs. Sharma, of course, she's been using Surf for 10 years now. You don't know her, you don't know people. But in banking and other financial services as well as other service industries, you know everybody. You pretty much know everybody, you know, so you know that this guy flies often, you know this guy has 10 lakhs in his deposit, you know that guy comes to our hotel once every month because he's a, you know, sales manager, whatever, you know individuals. And I think that's a really, really big difference between tangible and intangible. It makes the job much tougher, you know, because when you meet your customer, you have to look them in the eye. And you have to do a physical one-on-one sale, which you don't do in intangibles. And you cannot do that unless you're confident and sure about your product. So it puts that much pressure and onus on you to do the right things and to be able to talk about whatever you're trying to sell and position in a completely, with a lot of courage of conviction. So I think that's really what's important. So what does CRM do? I mean, I'm sure you've all heard about CRM, but it really provides us with a window to the consumer. And it improves our customer quotient. It opens up a two-way communication. We know what these guys are doing, and therefore we can give back to them something that is important for them. So, for example, you know, every bank will have a campaign management system. Pretty much every service industry would have a campaign management system, where based on a certain behavior that the customer does, we are able to actually send them targeted marketing communication in response to that. Now, this is not something that you do in the tangible world. You do this only in the intangible world. So the minute you, for example, get a big deposit into your account, the next day I can send out a communication to you saying, look, these are the 5 ways in which you can invest this money. Or the minute you don't pay up your credit card bill for 1 month, I can send you the next day a communication saying, would you like a personal loan? Because I'm guessing if you've not paid your credit card bill, you might be under some sort of a money crunch. So when you start communicating like this, you know, some of us could think that that's just spam. हम तो बस banks emails भेजती रहती है, रोज के रोज 10 email आती है, we don't know what to do with it. But when it's done well, and when it's done sharply targeted in response to some stimulus from the customer, it actually attains the level of service. Because the customer starts saying, यार इनको कैसे पता था? How did they know I need a personal loan? How did they find out that I need to make some investments at this point in time? If it's been 3 years since he took his last car loan and you say looking for a new car and you know we'll help you buy a new car, they'll say, how did they know that I was thinking about a new car? So it becomes such a you know, when well done, it becomes actually a service delivery, something that people get happy about and not, you know, they don't feel that, oh, bank is just bombarding me with information. And of course, comes with that is a loyalty program. Almost every service industry you will find where, you know, has loyalty programs. It becomes a way of actually enrolling the customer into a relationship. It becomes a place where we can engage them constantly, you know, give them some additional value because your loyalty program will have a rewards, redemption, etc. And you start off a, you know, multi-channel dialogue as well as you maintain a relationship because a person tends to stick to you because you've enrolled into some loyalty program. So we do that with airlines all the time. If we have a preferred airline, we would like to fly with that airline as a priority because we'll get miles on it, right? And everything here is measurable and testable. So I think, you know, banks are pretty stingy about how they spend their marketing money. So I think everything is ROI driven, and you can actually measure customer level profitability within a bank. And I'm sure you can do that for an airline as well as for a hotel. You know every customer, whether this customer is displaying a profitable behavior or not. So a good CRM can actually take the customer from acquisition to activation to usage to selling them a width of product. So they are great for cross-sell and upsell, and for renewal, which means you might want to move them up into another category and start from scratch again. So you might, like for Access, you may come in as a prime customer. Over several years, we, enhance that relationship. You've grown personally yourself during that course of time. And finally, you might end up being a priority customer. Similarly, after spending many years at priority customer, as you grow and evolve, you might become a wealth customer. So we constantly upgrade as well as manage customers within their life cycle. Innovation is an important part of, I think, any industry. Yeah, and we see a lot of it in FMCG. I think over the last 15, 20 years, really, innovation has just boomed, and there have never been more new product launches than what we've seen in the last 15 years. And we don't see that much of it in financial services, but I think it's important. And the focus has to stay on the customer. So I think it's very important, whether you are in an industry like banking or airline or anywhere else, that the focus of your innovation stays on the customer. Understand your customer's needs and then work from there to see what you can deliver and what you cannot deliver. One of the classic pitfalls we fall in industries like banking, for example, which are seen to be highly regulated, is that we start and end with the regulation. But the right way to is start with the consumer and end with the regulation. I think that's really the important thing to keep in mind. Also, if you look at FMCG, the proposition supersedes the product. So you don't buy, some sort of a SLS solution, or sodium lauryl sulfate solution, which is really your floor cleaner, but you buy Lysol or you buy Domex. These are propositions that they have made. You're not buying formulations. But some other industries, especially in financial services, we tend to sell products. We sell 10,000 AQB bank account with 5 free check withdrawals and 5 free ATM withdrawals. That's not a proposition. That's a product. So I think the thinking needs to change. How do you evolve products into propositions? And focus on exciting, entertaining, and simplifying. Don't take yourself so seriously. Yeah, every category, consumers are actually looking to be engaged, to be entertained. They want to find things simple. So it's important not to take yourself too seriously when you're doing that. And finally, one has to focus on technology, especially in industries like ours, which are very, very heavily technology biased. And things are just moving so fast that I think if you're not abreast of technology and we are not willing to experiment or ride on technology, then somebody else will beat you to it. And a couple of examples here are, like Google already has a Google Wallet. And so now very soon we won't need cards. We'll have everything on our phone. And with near field communication, you'll just show your phone at the checkout counter. You'll get some benefits. You'll get some freebies. You'll also pay for the stuff at the same time. It'll be like a completely different world. Yeah, we've ourselves launched a product called the Instant Money Transfer, where you can actually do a cardless withdrawal from an ATM. So now you don't even need a card anymore. And so a day might come when there are no cards. Sorry, Subhranshu, for scaring you. So that really brings me to the last of it, which is advertising. And I joined the bank about 2 years ago. And, as a FMCG marketer who was so sort of, feeling ke bas sab main to jaake I'll make some great advertising at Axis, right? That's the first thing that you want to do, because your FMCG training tells you ad banana hai. Everybody in the FMCG world grows up with the dream to make an ad and to be the ultimate decision maker on the advertising, right? Is that right? Everybody wants to make ads, right? Yeah, so, but when I came here, I realized that actually the last thing that I will do here is make the ad. Because you can put some great advertising on TV. That's not difficult. I mean, it is difficult. It comes with its challenges. But it's still achievable without having to involve too many people in the organization. So you can just, with your team of people and your agency, work towards and creating some new advertising. But I realized when I went through this cycle, which I'm showing here, that there's no point in advertising something which you cannot deliver. So there's no point in advertising if your online marketing is not going to be strong, because I knew that after seeing the ad, people will do research. There is no point in advertising if you don't have presence on social media. There's no point in advertising if your branches don't look good. There's no point in advertising if your alternate channels suck. And there's no point in advertising if the people on your ground don't even know what you're talking about. So there is absolutely no point in advertising till you know that your house is in order, and that all the other touch points that the consumer is going to face or going to engage with are all directed towards the same results or same goals as your advertising is. So you must keep that in mind, because it's very easy to make advertising technically, but it's very difficult to get some of these other things in place. And one has to be patient and deliver on these, because otherwise you will just start getting complaints saying, oh, your advertising is nice, but you know what, your brand sucks, or so-and-so said something to me, or your internet banking is not working. So it doesn't make sense to do that. So what's great advertising? I think good advertising focuses on brands selling hopes, dreams, aspirations, and not products and services. I think that's very, very important. FMCG learned that about 10 years ago. You will hardly see a detergent ad which shows a woman washing clothes anymore. You will not see a shampoo ad in which a woman is washing her hair. You will hardly ever see the role of the product. But it's amazing today what simple things like creams, talcum powder, soaps, and detergents can do to anybody's life, right? It can completely change your life if you are to believe the advertising. It can completely change your life. It can completely raise you to another level, etc. So why does that work? It works because people like to see their dreams and aspirations come true. They don't like to see their shirt becoming whiter. That's not interesting. It is not engaging for me to see, kya re wah dekho, kitni mitti rahegi balti mein, and the shirt is so white. That's not what what I want to see television and advertising for. And for us, I think that insight was that success is a journey. This is really what consumers told us when we met them, 25 to 40-year-olds. They said, we have to just keep at it. Everything we do is just one more thing to get to the other. And therefore, the deep-rooted consumer insight, which we arrived at, was that each achievement is just a stepping stone for the next. So we meet these young guys who within 2-3 years of working have bought their first house, which mind you, people like us could never do. But they are saying, हाँ, ये तो हमारा first house है, ये तो 2 BHK है, इसके बाद हम 3 BHK लेंगे, और फिर second home लेंगे. Then they'll buy their first car, but they say, this is my first car, ये तो Swift है, अभी इसके बाद Honda City लेना है. Or, oh, I became assistant vice president, हाँ, ठीक है, but I have to be president. I don't want to be like assistant to anybody, right? So people are constantly, they don't pause to even celebrate, or they celebrate maybe for one night, and then they are thinking about what they're going to do next. But you need a strong creative idea, because without a strong creative idea, you're not going to get any advertising or recall. And for us, Balki from Low worked on this himself, and our idea was कि ज़िंदगी की picture में interval नहीं होता, because people are constantly working from one thing to the other. And therefore, the brand positioning, where typically in financial services, you will find very product-led advertising, or you will find a celebrity telling you how to bank. अरे इस बैंक में मत जाइए, उसमें जाइए, या ये नहीं ऐसे. Or if you have a problem, we'll give you a solution. We wanted to create a space which actually was larger than life. We said people must want to associate with us as a bank, not because they get some debit card with 5% off, or you get slightly cheaper home loan. Those things are not important. They should want to associate with us because they think that, look, this bank thinks like me. Inki soch mere saath milti hai, or they understand me. They understand what I want to do. And therefore, the tagline for us was, Badhti ka naam zindagi. Because that's what consumers actually think.